how to integrate the two. This is an extract from Cherry Circle from a response to a report on a pioneering project that acquaints the elderly with email and the internet, but with a difference. The lessons are taught by faculty coaches, of which are a mixture of experienced learners and students who are only 10 to 12 years of age. This allows for an intergenerational experience, and one that the project pioneer Paul Muller would hope will aid in allowing the elderly users to participate in the sessions to develop the skills well enough, as required by CMC usage and its many tools and means. It also shows that despite the wide range of ages across the entirety of the communication lifespan in CMC, that the same approach can be used for all, and the mix of the two, all three groups together, can only help aid with the development. Okay, so children need to become computer literate as soon as possible in order to keep up with their peers. Probably. Small companies offering jobs requiring computer skills as a basic credential as part of prospective employment criteria, especially within specific fields of this one, with others not as applicable, but still considered useful to have, thus required to keep up with peers. This actually extends to that of the elderly, where some are forced to learn basic computer literacy skills that help them with CMC activities in order to keep pace with their younger family and friends. The only difference being is trying to learn basic sort of technology that seems complex to that of the preceding technology used they've already been conditioned to and come accustomed to using, i.e. telephone, radio, even the pen and paper, etc., is made harder by the assumed slower or lower learning curves come with defined age, but more so still by the previously mentioned conditioning to previous technological advancements, again the telephone, being at the forefront of all current unknown and technical ability, which leaves less room for manoeuvrability and more specifically adaptation to the new technology. For example, the more far-flung the communities and families are, the more significant the ability to engage in CMC becomes. There are also similar communities available for guidance, interacting advice and general activities to that provided for younger children, for example CineNet, which helps aid in elderly users' experience online. Okay, so just a few facts on the digital age divide, or the differences across the lifespan ages. 2/3 of children, which is over 60%, know more about computers and the internet than their parents. This proves that the statement about high exposure to and the learning from an early age becoming more common or apparent, that practice begins to be proven to be true. This is possibly as parents of these children, or say average 11 years old, would more than likely be 30s or 40s back then. Thus the birth of home computers, which I think was the late 70s to 80s, approximately 1977, and then the internet, which was late 80s to 90s, approximately 1986, respectively, then they, the parents, would have been possibly only children or teens themselves, with having had little or no previous exposure to computers or the internet, and certainly no experience of CMC. Only 15% of senior citizens in the United States have access to the internet. Perhaps this is due to their known reluctance to embrace new technology, and as a result CMC. That the only reason the percentage of the population is actually as high as 50% is due to the needs and wants to be able to keep pace with the younger population, of which many of the family members reside within, to be able to communicate and keep in touch with. The actual population of which elderly that have access could be a lot higher if it were that there were demand or need or want for it, with the less reluctance to embrace it, and with a higher basic ability to be able to understand the concept of the new technology, especially given their preconditioning as mentioned previously, and to perhaps be able to grasp how it works much more readily. The majority of people over the age of 55 in the UK have never used the internet. This is indeed true. I can in fact testify this myself personally, as both my parents around this pinpointed age. They're still both of differing variants of understanding, usage and ability when it comes to computers, the internet, of course, CMC itself. One of them has no experience of real willing and just doesn't wish to take the time to embrace it, although still insists a willingness to learn exists. Instead relying on myself to aid with online tasks and in communication with family, etc. The other, albeit the experience and ability is limited, that they have not been put off by having to embrace new technology as part of their job. Perhaps this is another example of trying to keep pace with the pace being a necessity in order to survive, or to keep in touch with the same and younger generation as both part of the workplace and in an external sense also. Admittedly, they did start using technology from a much earlier age than the specified 55 years of age point, so perhaps this is a crucial factor in the willingness or indeed acceptance in being forthcoming or able to learn and adapt to new technology, such as computers and the internet, thus being able to make use of technology for the purpose of CMC. And the last part, 2/3, again over 60% of these people say they have no intention of ever doing so. This again perhaps proves that there is a resistance among the silver server generation towards learning new technologies, despite the implications and restrictions as society sees it, placed upon them in not doing so, that would allow ease of use and more flexible and advanced use of communication technologies that would aid in social interaction and communication. I know for a fact though that at least there are indeed at least some of this generation, the remaining third, which is approximately 30% or so, who are willing and able to learn, as demonstrated by a grandparent of mine, both during and well throughout their 80s, with a firm grasp on Word documents, basic image manipulation, and more specifically communicating with family and friends via email, as well as using message boards and forums for keeping up to date with their specific social network. Furthermore, despite these rather dismal facts, the number of elderly persons online has increased by 90% inside 2 years, circa 2002. It seems that going online has become a favourite hobby for retired persons in the UK. Users of this age group say that being online has strengthened relationships with their families and friends and provides opportunities to develop new relationships and communities. It also has been said to reported that 80% of males over the age of 55 who do go online pursue hobbies or seek information, whereas 86% of females who do go online do so to connect with their families or friends. Perhaps it could be purely put down to the individual's own interest, curiosity and willingness to learn about the technologies, such as computers and the internet, that they require the support of CMC regardless of age or even education, language, culture background or exposure to the technology, and it is not dependent on which point of the lifespan communication time is specifically adhered to at all, as there can be various examples of each, with some perhaps more so in the majority or minority, social circumstances depending, of each specific pigeonhole is being decidedly defined to fit into. It could well be that the generation gap, let alone the gender divide, has been brought closer and bridged over through the use of and ability of those technologies that allow for communication throughout the lifespan of CMC. For more information on any of the subject matter covered in this presentation, or for viewing references and resources used for this purpose, please visit the link displayed on screen. Thank you very much. That's the end of the presentation.